Write down 10 general reject. 10 general reject. Okay. So what under we are going to discuss? So 10 is general reject. Like it have the sequence. Okay, numbers have the sequence. 11 is service not supported. 12 is subfunction not supported. 13 is invalid message length. 22 condition not correct. 31 request out of reach. 33 security access denied. 35 invalid key. 36 exceeded number of attempts. 78 request sequence pending. 7F service not supported in active section. 7E subfunction not supported in active section. So these are some important. Okay. So in interviews they will ask you what are the NRCs you worked. So there are many, like these are very common NRCs for all the services. So we'll discuss one by one. Okay. Write down NRC 10. That is general reject. NRC 10 is general reject. Okay. General reject. If you not understand no, this NRC, you can ask me. Okay. None of the NRCs are not available in the UDS standard document. You can write down none of the NRCs are not available in UDS standard document to meet the needs. Not available in UDS standard. In UDS standard document to meet the need of implementation. To need the need of implementation. Next, if no NRC is available for service ID, we'll get a general reject. We'll get a general reject. So coming to the first point. So none of the NRCs available in UDS standard document. So initially I told you for diagnostic section control, it will support only 12, 13, 14, like some services ID. Okay. In software, whatever the software, so they're not implemented the NRC. Okay. So they're not implemented. NRC is, you can write down another star point. NRCs are not implemented in the software for particular service ID. Then we will get general reject. So means what this 12, 13, 14, 15, it need to support for the 10 service ID. Remember, service ID is different, NRC is different. Don't get confused. Okay. So if it is 10 means 10 service ID means it is a diagnostic section control. Okay. If it is a NRC code 10 means it is a general reject. Okay. Don't get confusion. Clear, right? Rajesh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So service ID, it is a different. Service ID of the 10 is diagnostic section control and NRC 10 is general reject. Don't get confused. Don't get confusion. Yes. If they ask you service ID of 10 is diagnostic section control, you need to say NRC of 10 is general reject. Okay. So if the service ID is for the, suppose let's take like 11 is ECU reset. This is the service ID. Okay. For this service, the NRCs are not implemented. Okay. What are the NRCs? Like suppose if you send 1101, it will support only 01. Okay. So we have subfunctions of 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. Instead of this, I am giving extra data, like I am giving 20, 11, 20. This is a invalid, right? This is a subfunction is, it won't support the subfunction. Subfunction not supported, right? Subfunction is not supported. Means it won't support the data. So that's why we are writing subfunction not supported. That is a clear. Okay, if we are giving some other information, it will, how you will come to know this is not supported is, you will get a response of 7 of 11 and 12. Subfunction not support. Okay, 12 is subfunction not support. This information it will give clearly. Like whatever you are giving the subfunction, it is not clear. So that is the NRC that we call as a NRC code. Okay, so from this you will come to know, okay, whatever we send request, we need to do some adjustment, some corrective request we need to send. So that is the request we need to do it from the here. And from the response, we'll come to know that what is the response here we are getting it. Okay, it's clear, like a request and response. So if this tool is not implemented, they're not implemented in the software, this tool response is not implemented in the software, then you will get the 10 NRC. Clear, right? When you will get, when there is not this, we cannot test. Okay, so because whatever the implementation they do in the software, so if the none of the service ID is not implemented, then we'll get the NRC 10. It's clear, right? Only you need to understand theoretically and in realistic way. Okay, and coming to the NRC 11. So write down NRC 11. NRC 11. This is service not supported. Survey, right, for one example. Okay, so you completed one example for this NRC 10. Okay, you can write down like this example. The client and server so like if you say we can use 11. Okay, you are sending the request, you are getting the response of 7F. We are discussing this 7F only. This is negative response code indication. This is service ID and NRC code, I will say 10. NRC code, NRC 10 is received because so I'm making as 21 here. Instead of 01, I'm making it 21 because we need to send some incorrect, no? So we need to get invalid request. You can write down like this: invalid request. NRC 10 is received because NRC 10 is received because of none of the NRCs are not configured not configured in software. None of the NRCs are not configured in the software. Okay, you completed it, right? Next, NRC 11. Suppose we send unknown service ID, unknown or invalid service ID. Okay, I underline this. Okay, if we send unknown or invalid service ID, then we'll get NRC 11. Okay, clear, right? So how, suppose like we need to send the data. What is the service ID here? So the service ID is, so if we are using 10 and this is the sub function, this is a service ID and this is a sub function. Instead of 10, I am making as a 21 and 01. Okay, this is how if I give 11, it will go hardware reset. Okay, so instead of 10, I'm giving 21 or 20 if I give anything like that. Okay, so I'm making this is a invalid service ID. Invalid service ID. You can write down parallelly. So invalid service ID. Okay, this is the client side and this is the server side. So I will send the request of 2101. So what is my response will be like 7F. It will come as a 10, saying that this service, it knows that whatever you are sending. Okay, because it have only two fields. The two fields is 20, like instead of 10 you are sending this, and this you come to know it you are sending the sub function 7F, 10 and 11. You will get a NRC. So it will show that you are sending the invalid service ID. Okay, clear, right? Invalid now. So instead of like 22, if you take one more example, like 22 DID, you need to send. Okay, you need to send like 22 F1, F2, some data. You need to send like this. 10, this is a 2 bytes of data. So instead of 22, if you make 10 F1, F2, 002. What this client and server, no? So you will get a response of 7F, 10 and 11, saying that we are sending the invalid service ID. Okay, so service not supported here. NRC 11 is service not supported. You write down like this. NRC 11 service not supported. This is general reject. Like this you can write down. Next, NRC 12. NRC 12 is in unknown or invalid subfunction. Okay, in unknown or invalid subfunction. We know, right? Like for diagnostic section, we have subfunction. For ECU reset, we have subfunction. Okay, and next for 19 service, we have subfunction. Next, for 2F service, we have a subfunction DID. It have, and for 31, we have a subfunction RID. So whenever you are making these subfunctions invalid, okay, so instead of 10, you 1001, if you send like 7FF, it is not supported. Even if 10 like 56 something you will give, if it is valid, Okay, you will get a positive response. If it is an invalid subfunction, you will get a response of 17F. You can write down client and server and the request and the response 7F, 10, and NRC, it will say that 12. So subfunction not supported. Okay, clear, right? Subfunction not supported. Okay, so this is a invalid subfunction. Okay, so clear, right? Did you understand? Okay, so next is incorrect NRC 13. This is very, very important. Okay, why means whatever we need to write the data. Okay, so whatever we need to send the data, like suppose just we'll go with understanding of the empty thing. So here you can write down parallelly client and server. In all service IDs we'll use this. Okay, so it is mandatory 10.01. That is my request. I will make it as a request, and this is a response. So I will get a response of like this, right? This is a response. So if I send 10.01, some 21 I will give, because this 10 it will support only service ID. We need to give only 10.01 only, right? If I give additional data, what will happen? It will be invalid. So what it will show that you added extra byte. Okay, you added additional data. So for that, what will the response? 7F, 10, and 13. Okay, so similarly, like if we'll go to the other service 11.01. So instead of that, you give additional information like 1F. You give the 1F. So this is also invalid. You are giving additional data. So then you will get 7F, 11, and 13. So what is a 13 is? It is a invalid message length. Invalid message length. So like this you will get. It's clear, right? 13 is invalid message length. Hope you understood. 13. So like this for other services also, if we are giving additional data to the existing services, whatever the format we discussed, no, like 19 service, we need to use 1901 FF. Instead of these 3 bytes, we are adding additional byte F3. So then this is a not correct. It will say that okay, it is a not a correct message format. You need to send the correct message format. Means it is a valid, like it is a invalid or valid. So that will be decided. Okay, the whatever the request we are sending. Okay, so that is a valid, invalid message length, or not correct message format, something like that. Not correct message format. Okay, so that is a 13. Next, so sending of incorrect message length to ECU. You can write down this step. Sending incorrect message length to the ECU. So just I give an example. 2EDIDXX. Okay, here X is a length of 1 byte. So instead of 1 byte, I am sending the 2 bytes. Okay, 2 bytes. So what will happen? This is invalid data, right? Like a data will be support only 1 byte. If I am sending more than that, what will happen? NRC 13 will get. Clear, right? Getting or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Next is NRC 22. NRC 22. This is also very important. You write on the sentence. If precondition is not satisfied, if precondition is not satisfied because before executing the service ID, before executing the SID or service ID, we'll get the NRC 22. We'll get the NRC 22. Okay. We'll get the NRC 22. A precondition for testing is requirement or a condition. You can write down the next point. A precondition for testing is requirement or a condition that must be met before testing can begins to ensure the accurate result. Okay, you can write down the same sentence. Yeah, here it is there. So what it means is generally, like you need to write something, right? So you need, when you are writing something, you need some permission. Okay, you have that, but when you are writing, you need to ensure there is some precondition. Preconditions is like before you are going to start. Like example, we can consider you need to open the Google Chrome. Okay, so yeah, you have a laptop and you have a browser. Okay, now with the browser you are opening the Google Chrome. That's fine, correct. Now what is the precondition we call is what we need to check before we need to do. That is a precondition. Okay, so you need to open the Google. That is your action. Okay, so just you need to give the Google search. You need to go to the Google search. That is the action you need to do. So for doing that, what is the precondition is? So laptop should be required or any mobile is required. The browser should be opened. Browser is like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Those are the precondition. So the application is required. So if the application and mobile is required, then I need internet access. Internet access is required. That is a third point. So if internet access is there, so then then I am able to access the Google page. So those are the 3 points of the precondition. So similarly, when we are making some changes, like you need to update the value. So as I mentioned, the 2F service or 31 or some services where we need to do some changes. Okay, we need to do some alignments, right? Adjusting of the variant coding or calibration value, such things. We need to do a few things. So if you are not doing in some sequence, we'll get this NRC 22. Okay, so precondition is not met. Okay, so the first point, which is a very important. So if precondition is not satisfied before executing the service ID, we'll get NRC 22. Okay, it's clear, right? So like suppose your vehicle is driving. Okay, so whenever your vehicle is driving, you cannot perform the diagnostics. Means whatever you can read or write, you cannot do it. That is a action. Whenever vehicle is in stop, you can do the NRC whenever you can do your action like a writing or reading of the information. So when vehicle is running, if you try to read the data, you will get the NRC 22 saying that you are not doing correctly. You is not satisfied the precondition. Make sure the precondition should work. So like this NRC will get. So it's clear, right? Just take example. NRC 20 is condition not correct. Okay, what it means. So let's take example. Client In interviews, they will ask you, can you give me example of this? Okay, so we should be always prepared. Client and server. When I will make it 1003. Okay, so just I'm giving this 4 bytes of data with precondition satisfied. What is the precondition? Vehicle speed is 0. Okay. Now, next request. I changed vehicle speed. Now, vehicle speed to 20 km/h. Vehicle is running. Now I will send a request 1003. Now I will get a response of 7F 1022. So this is a one example you can give in interviews. Okay. Just you are making some changes. Precondition not satisfied, you need to think about it and you need to, that's it. So clear, right? Shall I remove this?
Yes.
Next is the 22 we discussed. These are the NRCs. Next is 31, request out of range. Write down NRC 31, request out of range. We'll work on this NRCs tomorrow practically. Okay, so some of the NRCs we can do. So I will give you some access to you for each and every one just for 20 minutes, so you can do it. Okay, if you send invalid DID, we'll get the request out of range. Okay, so this is one example. If you send invalid DID, okay, so how we are doing this? So the client will be there and server will be there. So the client, what he will do, so he will send like 22 and F1, F2. Now we make it as a FFF. Okay, this is not supported DID. DID is not supported here. DID not supported. DID is not supported or it is not available. It is DID is not available. So then you will get a response saying that 7F 22 and 31. Okay, so that is a invalid DID. Clear, right? You can write down 22 DID. DID is the invalid. We'll receive an NRC 31. Just remember like simple points, okay? In many other cases also we'll get, but these are very important, I can say. Next is NRC 35. So that is invalid key. You can write down invalid key. NRC, sorry. NRC 35 you get, 33 you can write down. NRC 33. NRC 33 is security access denied. Security access denied. Security access denied. Without taking security access from the ECU, you write down the simple step. Without taking security access from the ECU, trying to read or write the confidential data to the ECU, then we'll get NRC 33. Then we'll get NRC 33. Then we'll get NRC 33. Okay. So without taking the security access, no, you are doing some changes. How it will work? It won't wait. You will get NRC. So how we can do that? Okay. So let's consider this NRC 33. The client and the server. So I'm doing this DID, just I'm making a DID. So this DID you can write down F1, F0. This is a new DID. Okay, this is like some pressure value, pressure sensor value. Okay, so that is a keyword. So I'm reading it. Okay, this is a confidential data. This is a confidential DID, because we cannot read. Or if it is related to hardware version also, you can make it hardware version or software version. These are some confidential. You can write down this point similarly. Okay, so these are confidential data. Okay, this means whatever the confidential DID. So if you read this, you won't get the positive response like this. Okay, you won't get. What will get? You will get 7F 22 33 saying that you need security access. Why you are entering directly to read? You need security access. You need security access to read my data, to read the confidential data. So like this, it will be kind of the warning kind of thing. You will get it. Okay, security access to read the confidential DID data. Like that, you will get it. It's clear, right? For NRC, for this is for reading only. Similarly, like for you need to do some modifications or you need to do some changes. So if it is related to the parameters which require security access, so we need to enter the security access like 2701. Then we need to get the access. Then we need to try it. You know, right? Security access is 27. So with the help of the 27 security access, we are getting the permissions, and we are after taking the permissions of the invalid key, valid key. So then we are reading or writing, we'll do it. It's clear, right? NRC 33. So when we are getting it, so we need to get the unlocking of the ECUs with the help of 2701. You need to get the valid seed and you need to give the valid key. Okay, valid key, valid seed, then you'll get a positive response. Then you got the security access. So without security access, if you are trying to do, then you will get the NRC of 33. So what you need to do? So you need to enter, before entering this, you need to give this additional data like 2701, and you need to enter this section. Then you need to give the 22 DID. Then you will get this NRC. It's clear, right? Okay. Next is NRC 35. Write down sending invalid key to the ECU. Then we'll get a NRC 35. What is this invalid key? So when you are seed request, so you'll get a positive response of saying that the S1, S2, S3 are the seed. Okay. So again, 2702 and key 1. This key, sorry, I'm just making. So 27, 2701 and 67 01 S1 S2, and next is 2702 K1 K2. What is this key? If key is valid, you will get a positive response. Okay. If it is a invalid key, then you will get a response of 7F 2735. You will saying that it is invalid key. It's clear, right? You can write down this. If we send invalid key to the issue, then we'll get NRC 35. Okay. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next, write down NRC 36. So generally, when we are getting, if we got the, just if we go to the ATM and if you are entering the incorrect password, what will happen? After 3 times, your card will be blocked or account will be blocked for some 48 hours or 24 hours, right? Similarly, here in the software also, if you are try to read this confidential data without a valid key, so what it will happen is it will unlock. It means it will locked. Okay. So after that, whatever that you are sending invalid key continuously, you'll get 3 times. Okay, 3 to 5 times you will get, depends upon the project. In our project, we are getting up to 3 times. So okay, so when we send this invalid key value more than that, what we are getting is we'll get 36 NRC 36. Okay, you can write down that NRC. If we send invalid key, okay, so what you need to do, right? NRC 36 exceeded number of attempts. Like that, you can write down exceeded number of attempts. Exceeded number of attempts. If we send invalid key, exceeded number of attempts, that is 3. This is a minimum time. Okay, 3 times or 5 times, depends upon the project. Okay, so to the issue, then we'll get the NRC 36. Okay, generally it will be 3 or 5. Okay, so you can make it as a 1 3 times. Okay, or 5 times. So what we are doing, so I'm sending the key, invalid key, continuously 3 times. First time I sent, again I sent. What will after I will get is NRC 36, saying that you exceeded the number of attempts. So this warning you will get it. Okay, exceeded number of attempts. Clear, right? Next, NRC 78. If we request programming section, then ECU will wait for P2 star max time for response. Okay, so when you are sending client and server, okay, so the client is sending the request. So what is the response? It should wait some time, because client is waiting. Why I'm not getting response? So within 2 seconds, what you will get 7F and 10. If you are requesting 10, you will get 10 and 78. Okay, what this 78 will do is, so this 78 will give you that request received, saying that server it will tell, okay, I received the request. Okay, just response is pending for you. Like that you will get. So request received, response pending, that is a 78. If requested programming session, like if we are entering into the programming session of 10.02, if you do it, not is the programming section, any section, if you say, okay, If requested section, the ECU will wait for P2 star max time for response. After that, ECU did not receive this time, whatever the 2 seconds, if you say, if you are not getting that, then you will get a 78. If it is crossed more than, still it is waiting for the response pending. Okay, so request is it, whatever the valid data is sent to the server. Okay, so still the response is pending. That time you will get a NRC 78. Okay, it's clear. So like consider, okay, consider here like 78. Okay, 78, if you say 1001. Okay, so the client and server. So here the request is sent successfully, and the response will be, he need to response within two, like we know, right? Like it should have 150 milliseconds of time to 2000 milliseconds of the time. This is a piece P2 and this is the piece 2 star. Okay, whatever this time is crossed after 2 seconds, or whatever the request. Okay, so it should be in a request. Okay, so the valid request is sent. Valid request is accepted by the server or ECU. Still, write down the same. Still response is not sent to the server to client. Not send server to the client. Then you will get 7F10 78. Okay, so after crossing of the time, so you will get like this 78. So it's clear for you. Shall I erase it? Guys,
Yes,
are you there?
Yes.
Next is the last 2 NRCs. You can write down 7E. 7E and 7F. If ECU is in extended section, you can write down the similar. If ECU is in, okay, what is 7E is? 7E is, you can write down subfunction not supported in the active section. Okay, this is the big name. Okay, 7E. If for what is this is, if ECU is in extended section, and we know that extended section is 1003, the client and server. So then try to enter the access for the security level. Now, as we know, it will work only in the programming section only, security access will work. But for extension, it won't work. When you extended section won't support for security level. If you are doing this, what you will get? You will get the response of saying that 7F, 10, and 7E. This you will get it. Okay, you can write down the same, and you can, then we try to send the security access for the security level 1, then we will get a 7E. Okay, this is subfunction. 7E is subfunction. Next, what is this 7F? Subfunction is service. Service not supported in the active section. Service not supported in the active section. Okay, if ECU in default section, if ECU is in default section, then we try to send the access for the security level, then we'll get a 7F. Okay, what it means? So default sections, the whatever these services are there, no, it won't support, okay, for 10. So these are some security levels. So in default sections, security, it won't work. Okay, security, it won't work. So if you try to do this, we'll get a 7F. Okay, how you can write? So just you can write the client server and 10.01 without so like we are saying like without NRC. So sending of the service like security level, accessing the security level, security access, requesting the security access. Okay, without like requesting the security access in default section. Then we'll get 7F, 10, 7F. Okay, so you can write down this. Okay, so these are the NRCs. Now, whatever the NRCs still we discussed, no? So you can go through it, and coming to the each and every services, you can verify some of the NRCs. You'll differentiate how is differ from the each and every services. So